Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Comparing silver, gold, platinum, and palladium. Part 2. Let's explore. The first video that I did on this subject had a lot of information packed into it. We really didn't get to really actually compare the coins and the metals up close visually. So I thought I'd bring it into a different lighting conditions, natural lighting conditions, to explore these. And also a shout out to a member of the community who had previously done a video on this topic, but added copper in as well. And this is quite an interesting study, I believe, to give, because I get a lot of people asking questions about, well, what is really the difference between the metals physically. Some have never seen palladium or platinum in some cases, and rarely some people really get an idea to see the differences between gold and silver in their purest forms. The Royal Canadian Mint is quite unique in that they are one of the first mints to provide 4 nines fine, pure gold and silver and other metals too, at least the platinum and palladium. The standard bear for the purity typically is 9995. And so this gives us an opportunity to kind of take a look at these metals in their purest form here. Fascinating indeed. The Royal Canadian Mint was also the first to implement security features in their bullion coins, and as such, they've done it across the board for all 4 metals in 2015, which makes this quite a unique year, and to be able to provide a great comparison. So this is probably the best way to compare these metals in terms of the same design, so you can see the view and the differences between them. But if you look here, these particular pieces here, we'll move these out of the way. We've got gold, and we have gold and platinum here, and they are unique in that they are the same diameter. So one would make the educated guess that they're the same density. They're actually not. They are slightly different in density. Platinum is more dense than gold, and here is the example that you can see is in the thickness. That's right. If you put these two coins together, you can see, and it's difficult, but if you look closely here, you can see that the platinum is more dense than palladium. Hence, it is thinner in diameter. And so that is the difference to be seen between platinum and gold there, is in the thickness of these particular coins. That's right. But gold still has that density that lets you know that you have something of value when you hold it in your hand. Fascinating indeed. And if you look at the least dense and most dense together, silver and platinum, boy, look at that difference there. Same weight, 1 ounce each, but look at the difference in color as well. You can see that the platinum is sort of more of a subdued silvery color, hence probably why it got the term little silver, because it's not quite as bright and lustrous as silver is. Now these coins are minted with the same finish, brilliant uncirculated. However, you can see that the silver indeed does shine more. It is quite fascinating indeed. In fact, we can look at the cartwheeling effect of both and get that idea. You can see the shine there on that particular coin, and this one here in silver. Just a more brilliant shine indeed. Now, gold obviously is in a world of its own in terms of luster and look and appeal. It is the only one that is a yellow color to it. Pure gold here, 4 nines pure gold, and it is quite lustrous indeed in its own way. But because of the very nature of reflectivity, the optimal color for reflectivity is essentially a lack of color and sort of a white, and that's what this is. That's what silver is. It provides that reflectivity because really, in a sense, it is lacking color. So the hues between platinum and palladium and silver are almost really as much as platinum and silver. Palladium and silver have the different properties in terms of their density. You can see that this is the next least dense, palladium is, but it does have a darker hue to it comparative to silver. However, if we remove the silver and put platinum next to it, we can see that the hue and that sort of a darker silvery look to them is pretty much the same. In my eye, it almost appears as if the palladium is slightly darker, but it's only negligible, just depends on how the light hits it. And as you can see here, it is considerably thicker than any of the pieces, even more thick than the silver, but it is not, it is more dense than silver and obviously not nearly as dense as platinum or gold. And there you can see it. It is a hard metal too. The hardness really reflects with palladium after it is struck and forged. And so this is a very hard in its form now, but until and after annealing it remains a relatively soft metal, but it does not have the hardness that platinum has. But very interesting and fascinating to see these two metals together, and a negligible difference in color. And I'll let your eyes be the judge in this natural light. In some ways, because of the brightness, it's difficult really to kind of give an overview of the... I'm going to go through some light cycles here, but it's difficult to really kind of judge depending on the reflectivity. So I'm going to put all these metals back together again so that you can see them all together here. In such a way that we can adjust some light cycles so that you can see the differences between the color of these, because I think it is quite intriguing. So let's see if we can visualize some of this, the different color patterns here, or the different brightness factors here. Lower light, and you can see the look there in the lower light. And then brighter light here. That's almost too much because these are brilliant uncirculated. It's very difficult to kind of get an idea of color when there's so much reflectivity on the pieces here. But it is interesting. I think the study of metals and the thickness or the density, I think, is quite appealing to me. When you hold a piece of platinum in your hand compared to silver or any other lighter metal, it does give you a sense that the silver and other metals are really nothing, of no consequence. There's something about also, too, that you can take and hammer out a long sheet. The malleability of gold especially is as such that you can make it into very thin sheets. In fact, we've seen examples of gold in paper money, so to speak, or these gold foil notes that you see out there. And really, you have no idea or sense of its substance. Same thing for a graded gold coin. I would encourage you, if any of you out there are accumulating a gold along with your silver, to get a couple of raw examples, one that you can actually hold in your hand to feel the weight of it. I think there's something to be said for that. Same thing for platinum as well. And palladium is in a medium density. But another thing of note with these metals, as far in terms of their density, which I think is quite fascinating, is you can take a silver coin and pack it in a small little cube, and it feels pretty dense. Imagine that same thing if it were a gold or platinum. The other comparison to gold in terms of density would be tungsten, which is why tungsten is used because of its density to be filled into some gold bars to fool people. and into buying a fake gold bar that has the center completely hollowed out, missing some gold there. Now, tungsten is an incredibly different metal in terms of its hardness factor, its color, and the like, but nonetheless, that is what it is. But so there you have it. I thought I'd share this with you. Just an example of these metals in a different light. I hope you enjoyed. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.